December 16, 2025, here in Santa Cruz. And as time is of the essence, I'm just going to go right into introducing a calling guest. I have a calling guest, George Cannon, that will give you more information and an upcoming event that's taking place this Friday, December 19th, here in St. Croix. So without further ado, welcome. And
thank you.
Just give us a little background information and tell us more details about this event, upcoming event.
For sure. Thank you, and thank you for having me, Videla. I appreciate you guys having us on the show. So the event is the Film Over Gun Violence Red Carpet Premiere, and it is December 19th. So the nutshell is basically we have created two films, one with the youth. We have students, high school students who we created a film with, and we did one with the community, and both of those films are premiering December 19th at the movie theater at Caribbean Cinemas. So yeah, that is what is happening. This is our second year doing the program. Last year we did the same thing and had two films. One of those films, Falls, actually is now an award-winning film. It's been
wow, that's nice.
Premiered it, internationally, like Canada. We've had runs in Trinidad, all over the U.S., and have won two film festivals: international, Best International Film and Best Caribbean Film in the Miami Film Festival, and also in the International Black Diversity Film Festival in Canada. So yeah, our films are pretty good, and we're doing it with the community, with the kids, and yeah, we want people to come out and to check the films out, support the movement, or watch. We got Virgin Islanders in front and behind the camera. We are about representation on the screen. Want the Virgin Islanders on the screen telling Virgin Islanders stories, and that's what we do. Blues Heart Productions and Film Over Gun Violence. We also partner with the Center for Educational Growth, a nonprofit virtual school, and the CMCA, the Caribbean Museum Center of the Arts, is also a partner.
And what is it entitled, the film?
The film, yes. The two films, the one for the students is called Verified, and the community film is called Bottled Love. So the one for the students, Verified, so how that works is during the summer we do a summer program. It's like a summer intensive where we have high school students come, and they basically create their own film. So they write, we go through how to write a script. We teach them, all the fundamentals of writing the scripts and telling a good story, and they come up with the concept. So Verified is based on a social issue that is important to them, and that was screen time, so being on your phone too much. So that film is about a young person dealing with that. And yeah, those kids wrote it, they acted it, they shot it. So we have the production team come with the cameras and everything and teach them how to shoot it. And yeah, it's that one is a fun time. The second film is called Bottled Love, and that one is written by Angelina Lang and Diana Diaz, and that one is about a young lady who is dealing with addiction. So we like to deal with like to talk about social issues and things that are happening with people and things that a lot of people can resonate with. So in this film, the young lady in the film is looking for trying to find herself, and she looks for it in the wrong places, looks for herself in friends, and ends up turning to vices, and it's a trial and tribulation from there for her to try and find her way to good place in her life. But yes, that one is a drama, but it is also very good. And yes,
And the actors are also locals too, right?
yes, everybody who lives here, everyone who filmed it is local. Everyone who is on it is local. These are all Virgin Islanders. Yeah.
Wow, sounds
that's what it's about.
intriguing. So both
Yeah,
films, both films will premiere at the community theater, and that's located. That's
No, the Caribbean cinemas, the movie theater, the same place where you go to watch.
oh yes,
what is
okay,
it,
yes, in Sonia's area.
Denzel Washington film, yeah, all of that. Like,
Okay, and
all
then
of
yeah,
the-
the new theater by close to Wapa.
Yep,
Okay,
yep, yep, yep.
so, and
They're playing Avatar. They're playing our film.
what's the duration of the time? It begins.
Okay, so these two films are short films. They are about the student film is about 23 minutes, and the community film is about 28 minutes long.
Mm-hmm. And you have a reception, a red carpet reception before that, you said?
Yeah. So we want to celebrate our own. So when we go to these film festivals and we see how they greet the people in the films, they celebrate the film, the actors and the filmmakers and stuff like that. And especially with our young folks, we want them to, not just feel like they're a star, but know that they're a star. So we're giving them the red carpet treatment, at a red carpet, taking pictures and all of that, and asking them about the process of making the film. Because this is the process for them if they really want to take this seriously and become an actor or become a director or a grip or a gap or all these different roles on a film set. Like this is how it starts. They have to feel like they really can do this, because the film industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we here in the Virgin Islands, I feel like we are not seeing it as a possibility for our young people and just our people in general, and it really is. And we want to start showing that with what we're doing.
Well, it sounds intriguing, and I look forward to attending. Definitely.
So you coming?
Of course. I mean, I'm excited. And that's my kind of stuff, red carpet stuff, and anything that highlights our people, our culture.
For sure.
And some people
for
say
sure.
they're bored here in St. Croix. There's anything for the young people to do. Well, I don't know where those people are living, but there's never a dull moment in Santa Cruz. I call it Santa Cruz. The name that was given by Christopher Columbus and his second voyage to the New World. I am just so intrigued. I like to celebrate our rich history and vibrant culture and heritage. So I really look forward to that. And I definitely will be encouraging others to attend, because that venue is just amazing to capacity for, so 100 people can attend there. So I am appealing to all of you out there. So there's anything for the young people. I think this is a great experience to bring out the youth to attend this and dress to impress and to highlight our young people. So thank you. And I will be looking forward to seeing you and perhaps getting you to come back again, a follow up and that you do.
I would love that,
Yeah.
and I'd love to bring one of my actors and one of my kids, my students on to talk to you about their experience too. And I appreciate you for telling. And I'm excited for you to see it, man. I think the films are good. Like, even though we say student films, it's like the films are all right, man. I don't want too the horn too much. I want you to come out and see it, but like, yeah, it's gonna enjoy it.
Okay. Well, thank you. I look forward to seeing you. Have a blessed day.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you. Well, there you have it. I had a called-in guest, George Cannon Jr., and there is an exciting event that is going to take place this Friday, December 19th, at the theater, in the Cinema Theater in Sunny Isles at 6 p.m. There is a reception, red carpet reception, and then there are the two films that were just mentioned. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. And there's so many things going on and St. Croix now. We are in the Crucian Christmas spirit. Crucian season greetings to all, and this beautiful Tuesday, December 16, 2025. I'm expecting another guest that will talk about another upcoming event that will take place, a reception that will take place at Government House, and give us more information about the Virgin Islands Palestinian Friendship Association, which is a nonprofit organization here that hosted recently the Virgin Islands Palestinian Friendship celebration at the Agriculture Fairgrounds. And if you're interested in any of these social, cultural events and wish to immerse yourself virtually in any of the affairs of the Virgin Islands of the United States, you're welcome to join my Facebook group, Virgin Islands Affairs Forum. There you can attend events virtually. Whenever possible, I try to allow for Virgin Islanders living here and abroad who cannot physically be present at certain cultural and social events here, but I allow you to be present virtually and spiritually. So there you can get an opportunity to participate in any events that's taking place in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So what's happening today, as I said, we have a call-in guest that will be calling shortly. No, actually, do not call in. I'm expecting an in-studio guest. So I'm waiting, and while I wait, this show, let me remind you, this is yours truly, Burdell Peterson. I'm the host of this 1-hour radio talk show, At the Table with Crucian Educator, which airs live on WSTX 970 AM on your radio dial, Tuesdays 8 to 9 AM. Sometimes we start a little late, but at least we get in an hour, in which I do my best, my mission and passion to educate, to enlighten, and inspire minds. I focus on topics such as governance, civics, political status, self-determination, constitutional development, history, culture, and heritage of the U.S. Virgin Islands. So this is a show that tries to inform you of all that's happening, current events, as well as to educate you about our history, and hopefully you'll be inspired to participate in the election process. Everyone is not eligible to be a registered voter of the U.S. Virgin Islands, but if you are and you want to get more, if you have never registered and you want to get more information, you could go to vivote.gov, which is the website for the Virgin Islands election system. As of today, let me give you this information. The number of active registered voters here as of December 11th, actually, 2025. This is the latest report. Total number 28,199. And then it's broken down into three parts. St. Thomas have 13,000 registered voters. St. Croix is a little bigger, it's 84 square miles versus St. Thomas, which is 32 square miles. The number of registered voters and St. Croix is 14,058. And at St. John, just 1,132. There are two voting districts here in the territory. You have the St. Thomas, St. John voting district, which combines all the registered voters, not just on those two islands, but on Water Island as well. Water Island is the fourth Virgin Islands, and it's usually considered part of St. Thomas, but it's actually two separate islands. You have to take a ferry to go over from St. Thomas to Water Island, but it's very close. And there are residents on the island of Water Island. So those residents are also part of the St. Thomas, St. John voting district. And then St. Croix is a voting district by itself. But altogether, we participate in the general election. If you want to know more information, how to register, as I said, go to vivote.com. I want to clarify something based on some comments in response to the last show that I had. I was discussing the eligibility requirement to run for the position as delegate to Congress, Virgin Islands delegate to Congress. It is a federal position. However, the candidate is elected from the Virgin Islands. The federal government pays the salary of the person, whoever is whoever is delegate to Congress. Currently, we have Stacy Plaskett serving as our delegate to Congress. The qualifications to run for delegate to Congress from the U.S. Virgin Islands are not in the U.S. Constitution, as some folks think. No. In the U.S. Constitution, in Article 1, it's telling you about the eligibility requirements to run for House of Representatives and for the U.S. Senate. The qualifications are pretty much the same as here, except, which should be obvious, if you are a resident of New York, you may be able to run to represent New York as a U.S. Senator or as a member of House of Representatives. That's if you're representing New York. You can't expect to represent a state in which you're not an inhabitant of. I don't know how it's not making sense to some folks, but a person who is an inhabitant, and what is an inhabitant? It's not defined in the US Constitution. An inhabitant, this means a person living in a particular, residing in a particular place. That's the general. But for election purpose, voting purpose, you have to be cognizant of the fact that you have to be a legal resident of a place in order to be registered to vote in that place. I can't register to vote in New York because I am not a legal resident of New York. A person residing in New York who's a legal resident of New York cannot come to the US Virgin Islands and after 30 days register to be a voter if such person is still a registered voter in New York. No, that is not permitted by law. Currently, the way it is here in the US Virgin Islands, you have to be here at least 30 days before you're eligible to be a registered voter of the US Virgin Islands. 30 days. In some places, it's less than that. In some states, in a few states, you can register to vote the same day of the election, but not here in the US Virgin Islands. So the US Constitution just have the basic eligibility requirements to be members of Congress. However, each state has state laws that regulate other things, just like each territory. But in both cases, to be a member of the House of Representatives, one has to be an inhabitant of that state at the time of the election. You can't become an inhabitant. You have to already be an inhabitant when elected. You don't decide, okay, let me just move to this state officially now I've been elected. No, that doesn't work. And the same thing here. To run for the delegate to Congress from the US Virgin Islands, one has to be an inhabitant of the US Virgin Islands. Our Virgin Islands Code, the US Code, and the US Constitution all may use the term inhabitant, but in the case to run for delegate to Congress, it does not specify how long one has to be an inhabitant. That is something the supervisor of election would be responsible for, to ensure that person is in fact an inhabitant. So what makes that person an inhabitant? You can do your own research, but to get the best answer, I would suggest if you're interested in running for delegate to Congress and you're not sure if you're an inhabitant, my suggestion is consult with the supervisor of elections. Currently, the supervisor of election is Caroline Fox, Dr. Caroline Fox. The number is available, and I can look it up, for the election system office. Contact the supervisor of elections if you have any inquiry concerning qualifications, to run for delegate to Congress, because that race coming up is going to be a hot one, I see. And that race is coming up in 2026. It's a 2-year term. I do know, however, to become a candidate for any public office in the U.S. Virgin Islands, one has to be a registered voter. You can't just decide you're going to run to be delegate to Congress or to be governor, lieutenant governor, senator, board of elections member, board of education member, and you're not a registered voter. That one I know for certain. So each state and territory, like I said, has its own laws that regulate the election system for that territory or for that state. Not all territories and states have a board of elections. But if you want to know more information, again, I can't emphasize it enough about our territory. The Virgin Islands of the United States, that's the official title, as is in the Revised Organic Act of 1954. This territory is an unincorporated territory of the United States. Yes, the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So whatever constitution that is developed for the territory cannot supersede the U.S. Constitution. We have our own laws that are codified in the Virgin Islands Code. We also have the U.S. Code. You can research that and find out in the U.S. Code what are the eligibility requirements to run for Virgin Islands delegate to Congress. So, and any information that I give you today, you can verify by going to that website. And let me make sure I gave you some pertinent facts here. This information can be verified, facts can be verified. To run for U.S. Virgin Islands delegate to Congress, you must meet federal requirements in 48 U.S. Code, including being 25 at least, 25 years at least, a U.S. citizen for 7 years at least, and an inhabitant of the Virgin Islands. Plus Virgin Island rules like being a qualified voter and resident, and not running for multiple offices. These requirements ensure you're qualified U.S. citizen and a resident of the territory, governed by both federal laws and local laws. So again, at least 25 years. must be an inhabitant. What do they mean by must be an inhabitant? Now, this is my interpretation. Must be here, rooted here, paying taxes, making some kind of contribution, like most of us. You can't just be here and not in some way paying taxes to the Virgin Islands government. That means you either have to be occupying a dwelling, can't be just living in the bushes, or trespassing on property and setting up a tent. No, you have to have an official residence. And if you are paying rent, most likely you're paying a WAPA bill because it's a public utility company, Water and Power Authority. Well, I don't know what happened to my guest. I expected a guest in the studio. Oh, I'm sorry. You are here all the time? I didn't know. You come on up. Okay, I'm talking, but my guest is here.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning. I'm sorry, but you will have your time because we started late, 10 minutes.
No problem.
Okay, could you introduce yourself and give us a little information of the upcoming event, and then I will be interviewing you.
Good morning. My name is Ahmad Hussein, and I represent the Virgin Islands Palestinian Friendship Association. And we have a reception and a Christmas cocktail gathering at the government house on the 21st, which is Sunday at 6. And with the invitations went out, and we look forward to, enjoying the event together.
Oh, definitely. I look forward to being there. Is this the first one that you're having?
No, this is the second, actually.
The
Well, the
second-
first one was last year, which is pretty much like an inauguration.
So last year was the inauguration.
Yeah.
So this would be the second
Yeah, the-
anniversary.
The second anniversary.
Okay, well, I look forward to that. I did attend the friendship event that was at the agriculture fair.
Agriculture grounds. yes.
Yeah, grounds. Yeah, and I was very impressed of all that you have accomplished in terms of tying the cultures together and promoting goodwill and unity and love and respect in our community. And I know you're presently the president. You have always been the president, or?
Well, it's fairly a new organization, so
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm about.
yeah.
When was it first established?
Well,
The association.
after the establishment of the VI Palestinian Friendship Day
Mm-hmm,
in the territory, which is the 29th of November
mm-hmm,
of every year, a group of us got together and decided to incorporate so we can have an organization that backs that day and builds on
mm-hmm.
the whole idea of Virgin Islands Palestinian friendship.
So you created the organization after the Friendship
Yes.
Day was established.
Yes.
And as in your role as president of the association, what has the organization accomplished so far?
What you just mentioned a few minutes ago, when you were mentioning that, I said, okay, well, then we are hitting our goals.
Okay,
It's
just elaborate.
our goal is, to build the more on the existing friendship and cherish it, and to create more awareness in the community at large of our culture, heritage, history, and rich, you know, cultural background,
Mhm.
and to some way, somehow bring in those positive things and incorporate it in our community at large, and you know, keep the friendship, cherish the friendship, and I'm sure a lot of positive things will come out of it.
Oh, definitely. How do you envision our territory in about 2 decades from now? What you would be doing to facilitate the betterment of the U.S. Virgin Islands?
Mm. You know, if we do the right thing, in the next 2 decades, this is an oasis.
I think so too.
But again, that doesn't come without hard work, effort, you know, sacrifice. It needs work.
It does.
Now, as members of the community, and it's our job to contribute in the building.
Mhm.
You know, in all aspects, everybody, based on their specialty and their knowledge and their area of expertise, they need to be participating to attain the desired growth that is needed in the territory.
So how you get in the young Virgin Islands Palestinians involved?
Well, they're involved in the organization, you know, either directly or indirectly. Also, it's what you plant in them.
I agree.
You know, we try to.
I was so tickled watching the children dance.
Oh yeah.
The young Virgin Island Palestinians. I got it. Kujan Palestinians. I love to see them. They were so happy.
He made a trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice little kid, beautiful. You know, we just gotta do. You know, you gotta teach them.
Yeah.
You gotta teach them, and
the adults are the role models, and they emulate your behavior.
Yeah, and they watch. When we were kids, we used to watch the you know, our elders and see what they do,
and you preserve their culture and traditions. And what about their language? You encourage them to speak the Arabic?
I do. I do. I think Arabic is a very rich and important language, and there's a lot of meaning behind it, and I think they should. Some do, some don't, you know, but you know, generally they can get by with the language.
Well, I met a young Virgin Islands Kujan Palestinian named Fatima. She's like looking like in her 20s. And I asked her about that. I said, "You speak Arabic?" She said, "Yeah, because my parents spoke it to me." But you know, and then she also said she speaks Spanish. And I know a lot of Palestinians I meet too. They speak Spanish because they're in business, and Spanish is one of the second most spoken language here.
We have a lot of, and some of them also came from South America. And
yes, she mentioned.
Yeah, so
she mentioned that.
Yeah, you know, being trilingual is a
multilingual.
Definite, well, multi, yeah. If you're,
and the writing though, I have one student from Jordan. I'm like, how you learn to write this? This looks so complicated. And I know you write from right to left,
Yes.
but that seems so. It's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it looks difficult. I don't know.
When I look at Chinese writing, I feel the same way. But if you put your mind to it and just, it's simple and easy. It's alphabets, and you join them together. And it's just like any other language.
You ever thought about, for anyone who might be interested, like me, in doing some courses in,
Arabic?
yeah, teaching us some Arabic, you know?
That is, we should get you an Arabic teacher to do courses, because Arabic is a language that is based on, certain principles and all that. You
Yeah.
need to follow it so you can.
I'm interested.
And there is like, you have the Arabic, the Fusha, which is
Mhm.
the language, the standard, the authentic, and then you have the slang, which is, every area.
Colloquial,
Yeah, and there's a lot of difference. Sometimes, there is differences, and if you get the slang, you're not really learning it the right way.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Spanish. So that's the first thing some people learn, though, this time.
Yeah, the ones that do it, they're working backwards, so they don't really get the good grasp of it, like somebody that starts and follows the steps step by step, and then after you get the grasp and the mainstream language, the standard language, then whatever offsprings of it, it becomes easy.
What I see with a lot of products, they would have several languages, and I see with some, like, especially with things like electronic device, I notice they have Arabic now.
Yeah.
And it brings a thought to my mind. Like the last time when you called in as a guest, we were talking about the Constitution and the language. Now, there is legislation that it must be written in English, Spanish, and French, I believe. But I would like to propose Arabic because we have a large Virgin Islands
Mhm.
Palestinian community. I propose that Arabic also be one of the languages the draft is put in. And I really like to see the Kurdistan Palestinians get more involved in the constitutional development, because you all play such a vital role in our community. A lot of businesses are owned by Arabs, and their long time ties here. So do you think you should have a voice at the table in constitutional development, and what message
Of course.
which should be
Of course.
incorporated into that draft?
If you want to have, a constitution should be inclusive,
That definitely.
and not only us from Palestinian background, every single
Exactly.
even small segment of the community should have a seat on the table.
Definitely, and I want to see a more vocal presence of
Yeah,
Kurdistan Palestinians.
we haven't, we haven't participated because we haven't,
Heard much.
heard
The
much about
silence.
it. Yeah.
The silence is definite. It hasn't been
We haven't heard much. We
Exactly.
were not approached. Also, again, if you have an idea and you start working on it, and you don't approach me,
I know.
I'm not
I-
gonna
I-
know anything about
the-
it.
it's not the Constitutional Convention is not reaching out
No. And
to the public.
years ago, they had a few, they made created a little awareness, and then it faded away and nothing happened.
No, it's faded away. Although the legislature granted an extension of time and more resources to accomplish the goal. And I'm not getting into the politics, okay? Because I know your organization, a nonprofit organization, is not politically oriented. My focus is on civic, and we need a government that's inclusive and promote unity, because Santa Cruz, called the land of seven flags, has a very diverse population. We have people from Chinese descent. We speaking Chinese here too.
Have Chinese, Philippine,
Yeah. Indians,
Indians.
people from all over the Caribbean, Trinidadians, Fictitian,
Dominican,
Antiguans,
Antiguans.
St. Lucian. Why Santa Cruz? Because, like I always say, it's the most exquisite island paradise in the world. We have so much to offer.
And if we focus and build on the diversity
Yeah.
and the inclusion that we have here, and we promote it, believe it or not, nowadays we will have more people from outside even interested to come and
Oh yeah, yeah.
because right now you are in a world that's moving towards radicalization, I should say.
Mhm. Another mission I know you have is to highlight the injustices taking place in the Middle East. And like they say, like Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere.
That is correct.
And we should not be nonchalant about this. Our fellow human beings
We
suffering.
unfortunately, it's not like we don't really get involved, and it's not part of our
Mhm.
goals as a VI Palestinian Friendship Association.
Mhm.
But it is very clear that in our history and heritage,
Mhm.
we have experienced and still experience, a very brutal colonial settlement project,
Mhm.
and we suffer from it for 70 plus years now. And, it's genocide after genocide, politicide after
No.
politicide, infanticide after.
No, we can't stay silent. We have to.
Yeah, well, that's on.
Yeah.
Of course, there is you're not going to find a Palestinian that's going to tell you, hey, we don't care, or we're not hurt, or we don't feel the pain, and we don't feel the suffering. There's no Palestinian that's going to tell you that. There is no Palestinian that is going to tell you,
Do you feel?
they don't have the right
Uh-huh.
to that land.
But do you feel powerless to make a impact in this era? Especially when we have a racist, in my opinion, a racist president. You think I actually, to be admit to you, I feel powerless. I feel I could bring attention to it, but
I feel that change is coming.
you feel so.
Yeah. We're not there is no such thing as powerless.
Okay.
The words and your position is your power.
Mm-hmm.
There is no such thing as powerless. There is no such thing. Palestinian, the word Palestinian and powerless does not go together. Palestinian and resilience go together.
Okay.
Palestinian and stand fast go together, which is Palestinian and patience.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the word. I'm
now
impatient.
we feel isolated.
Mm-hmm.
We feel the world has caused the problem and has not contributed even close to an equitable solution. Yes, as Palestinians, anybody from a Palestinian
Mm-hmm.
background, anybody that's from a human background
Mm-hmm.
would feel the same way. At the end of the day, we need to embrace humanity before we embrace
Right.
nationalism
Okay.
or even religion.
Right.
And from a human point, people, you live in St. Croix and you love St. Croix and you're a Crucian here, and somebody comes and just picks you up and kicks you out, and it's not, destroys your history, destroys your childhood memories, destroys your family, kills your, it's,
Right.
You're not gonna just turn your back and not try and fight back.
Where there's no justice, there'll never be peace.
And
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela and Malcolm X, and because this is the whole idea of embracing humanity. These people understood the big picture of humanity before they started, and they understood where things were going.
Bob Marley.
Yeah, all of them. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So and they did not accept it then, and these are the people that have laid the foundation for humanity to follow in the right path towards equality, freedom of choice, everything.
Well, like you said, a better choice would be, instead of powerless, resilience, patience, because I'm reflecting the enslavement of Africans lasted around 400 years, and still today, African descendants still suffering from discrimination. Action speaks louder than words. You could put something on a paper. So my religion is humanity. My temple is my heart. You could put something on paper. This is how we want it to be. Like you have the U.S. Constitution, but it's what's in practice. People say one thing, but their words are not consistent with their behaviors.
Because of greed and the sometimes that love for control becomes a disease.
It's the absolute power.
Yeah,
corrupts absolutely.
And I think we, as Americans and as Virgin Islands, we need to revisit where we stand where we stand in terms of the universal values of humanity and the values entrenched in our Constitution and Bill of Rights and all of that.
Well, I'm going to do my part to get you to other members of your organization to continue this conversation and how we could work together to make the Virgin Islands a better place. And I think that's what we need. We need to speak to each other more.
Communication is the key.
Unfortunately, I don't know, I'm not, the delegates to the 6th Constitutional Convention have not accepted my invitation to appear. So I don't know, but persistence breaks down resistance.
That's
Once again, I will be putting out the invitation. Members of the 6th Constitutional Convention have an open door policy. You're welcome to be a guest anytime on this show. And topic I would like is, how are you involving all segments of this population? And what are your intentions as or the in your preamble, because that's the key, the preamble of a constitution. It's telling you who the constitution is written for and why and what it hopes to achieve. We could all go and read the preamble of the US Constitution. I believe it's 57 words. That sets the tone, the mode. And you want to have a document that's not just words on a paper. It doesn't mean anything if we don't put in practice the principles of love and respect for every human being, every resident here of the U.S. Virgin Islands. You can't make laws, especially for one segment of the population, which is what has been done in the past. I personally would like to see the first Virgin Islands Palestinian governor elected or senator, because this is a democracy.
Yeah, but nobody has come forward to run, and people told them
because, like
have,
I say, actions speak louder than words, and sometimes silence could be golden, but silence could also be sending a what you call a subliminal message that you're not welcome, you're not part, you shouldn't be involved, you're not a native. Well, of course, I don't know how people come up with this thing about a native. As far as I know, a native, you're born in the place. Period.
This is all, at the end, it's all God's creation, God's land.
This whole world, the earth, we didn't make it. We create the artificial world. The natural world was created for all of us. It wasn't created for no special group. It's just by coincidence. Not coincidence. I mean, it just happens that none of us choose when to be born, where to be born, what sex to be born. But we have a choice.
They label you as you come out of the factory.
Right. We have a choice where we want to reside currently and how we want to get involved in making where we reside a better place. That's a choice that we all have. So once again, thank you for being here. I look forward
Thank
to
you for
the
the
upcoming reception at Government House, December 21st.
God spare our life.
And hope you come back again and others
Will do.
to continue this conversation.
Thank you so much, Rhythm.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Live, listen, learn, love, and levitate.
All right, blessings.